Welcome to the 15 Minutes to Quilt Challenge. Today I'm going to continue to work on my heart and arrow quilt. In this video I'm going to put together the binding and the label for this quilt. I like to sew for at least 15 minutes a day, and every day this month I'm giving you a peek into my sewing room to show you what projects I'm working on. There's a lot of other topics and quilts that I want to show you this month, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of them. Today I'm working on my heart and arrow quilt. So far in this series, I've already shown you how I made the quilt top and how I quilted this quilt. So today we're just going to work on putting in the finishing touches. I'll show you how I put on the binding and the label for this quilt. This binding is all done by machine, both the front and the back. The label is also put on by machine, so it's a really quick and easy finish to make. I hope that you get a chance to sew along with me so that you can enter to win prizes. Stay tuned to hear the secret word of the day. Let's get started. Okay, I finished quilting this quilt. You can see that I did some free motion quilting. I did a heart shape and I echoed it, so that's two heart shapes here. And also I did triangle shapes. This one's not quite as straight as it could be, but I think it's fine. The second triangle, the outside triangle, I think helps show what the plan was anyway. Again, this line's not quite so straight either, but I actually like the organic design of it, just to keep it loose and casual. I used some feather stitches here that my machine has to put those designs on here, and then I just did some straight line quilting throughout the quilt to keep everything cohesive. I did hesitate a little bit to try to figure out if I was going to do more hearts or if I could if I really needed straight lines here, but I decided that I was going to go with the original plan and go ahead and keep the straight lines, and I think that worked out well because the straight lines do help. The fact that the straight lines go all the way through, I think, helps the way the quilt looks overall. I could probably do another heart shape around here because it does look like it could use a little bit more help, but beyond that, I think pretty much I'm done with the quilting on this quilt. So now I just want to go ahead and trim it down to size. This to me is like the ugliest part of the quilt when you have all of this batting showing and all this extra stuff, because it just doesn't look as neat and tidy and doesn't look as, it kind of takes away from the look of the quilt, because this part kind of is part of the quilt right now. So once I trim it up, then it's going to look so much better. So I'm just going to go ahead and trim off close to where the edge is now. I'm following this line here to make sure that I'm actually following this line here to make sure that I'm keeping my quilt square. And then I'm just trimming down to as big a piece as I can get from this side. You can see here that it's up to here. This is at the 3-inch mark, so I'll just try to make sure that I'm at the 3-inch mark on the other side too. So here I am at the other side. I'm also following the same straight line. I'm following this straight line here. This is at the 3-inch mark as we had seen on the other side. So that'll keep everything evenly balanced. So I can go ahead and trim this part. And then it's just a matter of doing the other side here, and on this one, there's really not a lot of space. It looks like there's only 1/4 of an inch here. So I'm just going to keep as much of that as I can. And I'm just following this line here. So it's 1/4 inch here, and this is just straight. That worked out well because you can now see that there's a nice sharp corner on the edge of the quilt on that side, and also on this side. It's a nice corner. So let's do the final one here. And this one looks like it might give me more than 1/4 of an inch. I'm going to follow one of the seams here. And then move this over as far as I can get it. On this side, I'm just making sure that down here I'm at I have a nice 45-degree corner here. Right here, I'm going to make sure that I have I'm going to follow this line here to make sure there's a nice corner this way. And I'm just going to move it as high up as I can get it here. Because even if it doesn't look quite straight, but I think it's close enough. This one's just a little bit off. I'm just going to leave it that way rather than trying to make this straight, because I'm not sure if this was a straight line to begin with. Actually, this is following this pretty well, so this is actually correct. Okay, so here is a quilted quilt. And now I need to work on the binding. And I wanted to use the blue for the binding. Oh, no, yeah. Ooh. We had talked about this one for the binding, hadn't we? Okay, let's compare. What I like to do when I'm comparing, when I'm deciding on the binding, is I just put it on a corner underneath the quilt, just so I can kind of see what it might look like when the quilt is finished. It's going to be a little bit off. It's not completely accurate comparison because we're going to lose some of this in the seam allowance, but at least it kind of helps me see what the quilt is going to look like with this binding. And then let's see on the other side. Let's try the other binding. Put them both up here so we can compare them. I think they both would look good. But I like the darker blue better. I want the binding to stand out, and having a really dark binding is going to make it stand out more than a lighter binding is. And this is really pretty. I like the fabric, but I think that this one I like the blue better. So we'll just do that. And then hopefully we have enough. I think we do. Yeah, it's plenty. Okay, so what I want to do, so it looks like we're going to have one for each side, and then this one possibly we could share, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and cut 4 strips to get this finished. And because I want the binding to stand out, I'm going to go ahead and do a double fold binding. I don't really need a skinny one. I'd like to have a binding that really stands out, which means I want to cut it at 2.5 inches. The secret word for today is smile. Smile because we are so close to finishing. Yeah, I need to trim off this side a little bit. Okay. Now, it may look weird to you that I'm cutting this fabric on a diagonal from the way the cutting mat is. You can see that I'm not actually cutting straight on the cutting mat. And that actually helps me with the lines, because if you're cutting on the straight lines, you're going to wind up having repeated cuts in the same place. And if you just randomly place the fabric on the cutting mat, you're not going to wind up having the same lines being cut over and over again. So that's actually a way to extend the life of your cutting mat. Three. And last but not least, need one more. Okay, still have plenty of fabric left over. And now I'm just going to sew these pieces together so I can go all the way around the quilt to bind it. I'm now going to just sew these all into one big long chain. Let's do a happy dance. The heart and arrow quilt is finished. I hope you enjoyed watching me make more progress on my heart and arrow quilt. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's video. Thank you for watching. I appreciate all of your support. I hope to see you again in the next video.